Alright, welcome back. This is Simple Swing Trading Part 3. What I'm going to do in this video is talk about, as prices pulling back, letting them build, letting the sellers build an area for us to change behavior so we can hop onto a swing. So we're going to talk about a change in behavior from sellers over to buyers, but in the pullback phase, in the reaction leg. Now this is going to be very basic, but there is something profound to get here about following markets rather than predicting them or trying to be clever or using magic numbers. Actually following what they are doing, letting them move you to action. So it's very simple what we're trying to do here, and it shows up in various ways. So we will take a look at several examples, including currencies, some futures, and some stocks on all kinds of different time frames, because a swing is a swing is a swing. So what are we trying to do here in essence? The market has an impulse. The market has an impulse. We've structured a swing here. It's showing us a certain intention of buyers, right? Sellers couldn't hold it here, and it's showing us an intention of buyers. And then the market starts to pull back. This is how a swing is formed. And so all we're trying to do is, in this pullback, we want to hop on a swing, but we don't want to hop on anywhere. We don't want to hop on here and get stopped out, or here and get stopped out, or here. And we don't know. We really don't know if it wants to keep going down in reverse. We have no idea. So we let them show us. We listen rather than tell. We let them show us. And so there's some techniques for doing it. So very simply, the intention with the impulse leg is up, and there'll be very nice impulse legs. We'll learn to recognize those. And in the pullback, the sellers literally have taken control. And all we're doing is waiting to see if the buyers wrestle control from those sellers, so we can then swing with a swing, hop onto a swing for the next leg. So there's some techniques we use. So, and no matter what time frame or instrument you trade, if you practice following markets like this, it's going to change your experience of trading all the way around. So what I want you to do is just, as price is pulling back, as price does an impulse, you can follow that process. As price is pulling back, wait for them to make a very nice try up. So if price makes a try up and then gets whacked, what happened? What do you know? You now know that there are sellers there. And that's what we're looking for. We're waiting for the sellers to show themselves. So it's kind of like you wait, let somebody else through the door, and see what happens to them. So as you're following price back, and we're not trying to guess where, we can do some extrapolations. You can do a measured swing, you can draw a median line, you can look at some structures, have an idea. But just purely follow it back up and let them show you where sellers are at. So in this case, you're going to look for this step right here. Let them show us. How will we know? Well, price will have to go up and then get whacked. Sellers. And then we can begin drawing our change in behavior line, which comes in a lot of forms. This is the simplest form. So this was a recent market we were working on in the sessions. So as price is pulling back, you're watching it live. As it starts back up, what you want to see is some excitement. That's how you really know. You want to see some excitement to the upside to show you. And that will come in the form of a larger bar or a gap. You'll know it when you see it, because if you've been trading for a while, something like this is liable to excite you, especially if you've had some sort of bias about a long or some reason you wanted to get long here. This is going to excite you. This is the first attempt to make a swing up. And it might. But if this guy stops somewhere up here and rolls, they've now showed you. So what you're going to wait for is a pullback, and you're going to wait for that exciting attempt and emotional reactions, but you're not going to be in it. You're going to let somebody else get whacked for a change. Now, it doesn't have to pull back, but if it does, you watch. See, look at them come out now. So what have they just showed us with this? They have just showed us where sellers are. How did they show that to us? Well, they came up, somebody hit it and knocked it back down. They came up, somebody hit it and knocked it back down. And this is the start of drawing your change in behavior line. We want to watch how price acts along. We want to watch these sellers, because initially we're wanting to trade a swing, but we don't know. Price might keep going down to zero. We have no idea, and we don't know if it's going to turn here, so we let them show us. So you see they showed up again. So what's happening along this line? Believe me, if you're going to get long, this line has to be crossed. And what you're going to want to see is this kind of excitement, but through the line. No guessing, no being clever. So you're going to want a change in behavior of these sellers getting taken over by buyers. And we have lots of change in behavior techniques. This is one of them. The pivot components are one of them. But you can see it's just doggy. And you know how this feels. If you were long, you're dripping. You're dripping. You're dripping. If you try to get long, you're dripping. They're just fooling you. It might go down. They might even convince you to get short. We don't know. We don't know. Boom. See? Boom, right? It's starting to turn. This is a healthy indication. It's not a guarantee, but the line they were on is turning. This is actually a gap swap if you go back to the price action series I did for pivot components. Gap, gap, right? Buyers and sellers have changed. And so this is one of the ways we are going to use to follow swings. And with a median line, this is how it's actually one of the very first setups I've learned, right? Wait for these guys in some form or fashion to change. All right, so let's take a look at this the same way in just Friday's Russell. So Friday I see a nice impulse. I'm thinking I might be able to capture a swing. So what I'm watching for is I'm watching for sellers to show me where they're at. And so as it pulls back and starts to come up, I'm paying attention. Boom, right? You see this bar here open, let's call this a hard up. If this bar gets slammed, if you let these guys jump on this thing and they get slammed, you have just learned where sellers are at. See, you have just learned where sellers are at. When they picked it up here, you have just learned where sellers are at. You can begin to relax from all of that predicting about where it might turn. And watch the price action. These guys are now getting very upset, especially if you're using cheap little stops. Now, sellers are here. Sellers are here. It's the facts, Jack. Boom. They've just changed. Okay? So that's what that kind of a setup would look like. And that's how to capture a swing. Wait for it to hit sellers and knock down. All right, one more and then we'll try to find something live to watch. And you know, this is very basic. I can't go in this in complete detail here, but let's let you see what it looks like with a stock. And these are some that I've traded. So for instance, as you're mapping this market, what are you seeing? You're just seeing, look at that, just a simple box shows you sellers, sellers, seller, impulse, pullback. You're waiting for them to show you something. Bam, means somebody's in a hurry to get on this. Bam, they just puked it out. They just showed you where the sellers are, right there. They just let you know. In this swing, they might be there, they might stay there, and you get this kind of an action. So what I'm saying is, watch the people have the emotional reaction and sit it out for a change and see what happens to them. Let them run through the door and see what happens to them. And then follow price afterwards. A typical setup for me is going to look like this. We've made a swing. It's pulling back. They reach sellers. They reach, look at that. They reach seller. Everybody's in a hurry to get long. Bam. They reach sellers. They beat those sellers. So let's find one or two we can do live moving forward. Let's do this one. I like this one. So here we have a nice impulse leg up, and you see excited buyers jump and show us exactly where some sellers are at. Now that's live. All I have to do is watch. All I have to do is keep an eye on this thing. It might roll over. I don't have to be the one to predict where it's going to go. I just need to follow it. That's probably the biggest thing with this CIB line. It can be horizontal, and there's other CIB techniques. But if you get one thing out of this video, it's the letting somebody show you, letting the seller show you, and following, rather than trying to give your mind the job of predicting the future with some magic. So we'll keep an eye on this one live and wrap it up for now.